The schedules are out. Finally, the league released them. They are done with the charades. Like, we know who we're going to play, and we know who we're going to beat. Yeah. And so for the Las Vegas Raiders, I think there is a couple things to kind of look at for the specific schedule, and I'm excited because I think that this particular schedule does kind of help out the Raiders a little bit. Like I definitely think that they could take some games. I think there's going to be some games that could shock some people, but no more talking. Let's get into the schedule and our reaction to it. So you'll see here the Raiders are starting off the season at the Los Angeles Chargers with Jim Harbaugh and company, new head coach, new front office, everything's going, right? So I think that the Chargers are going to be good. I just think it's going to be a little while because they are still trying to rebuild the remnants of what Brandon Staley did over there and Tom Telesco, who is, yes, the general manager of our Raiders, but it is what it is at this point. So week 1 at the Chargers, I think this one is a W for the Raiders. I think that Aiden O'Connell and this defense get after it, and things definitely go in the Raiders' favor. Week 2, again, another away game, 2 away games to start off the season for the Raiders at the Baltimore Ravens. This one's tough, but I can still see the Raiders winning it. So you got 2 early games here on Sunday for the Raiders, starting things out here, and I could see this one going either way, but for the sake of keeping everybody honest, I'm going to go with an L here because I can see the Raiders beating the Ravens. In fact, I would probably honestly put my money on the Raiders in this particular game because I know that Derrick Henry's new into town and that the Ravens are just completely stacked. But the Raiders, I think, are a team that could shock a lot of people this year. But anyway, so we're going to go with the less liked option, and we're going to go with the L here against the Ravens. But coming back, we've got the Carolina Panthers at home. Obviously, I think this one is a W. I don't even think it's even a debate at this point because, I mean, the Panthers legitimately, no offense, might be the worst team in the entire league. Like, I'm not trying to be a jerk, but at the same time, they legitimately might be. It's not good. It is really, really not good. So the Carolina Panthers, they're still kind of reeling from taking Bryce Young over C.J. Stroud last year, and the first home game for the Raiders goes according to plan. Next home game against the Browns, I think this one is a win. With how things have went with Deshaun Watson and company, I just don't see this going well for the Browns right now. I just, another home game here for the Raiders, early game on Sunday. All Sunday early games to start out for the Raiders, as well as back-to-back away games to start the season and then back-to-back home games. So I think the Raiders take it against the Browns here, and then this is where the fun starts. So at the Denver Broncos, 1 o'clock, another early game here, and I'm a little bit perplexed by what the Broncos did with getting Bo Nix there in the first round. I don't think this is going to go good for Sean Payton and company. I just don't. I'm taking this one as a W for the Raiders, and I don't even think it's going to be close. I think Sean Payton and company, Gary Payton or George Payton, they're all gone after this year. It's not good. Week 6 at home against the Steelers. I think this one is another one as a W, even though that defense is legit. I love Mike Tomlin and what this team continues to do, but the Raiders started out here with a record of 5-1. Things are looking good. Now, week 7 at the Los Angeles Rams. I think this is one where the Rams. This is weird because the Raiders, I think, got here, moved down to 5-2. So then they might actually win this game. I can see it going both ways, but I really feel like the Rams they're kind of a sleeper team, like with Kobe Turner and the guys they got in the draft last year. Like they absolutely killed it. I know Matt Stafford's pretty much on his last leg, but the Rams are kind of plucky, and I think they could be interesting here. And so it is what it is there. Week 8 against the Chiefs, yes. The Aiden O'Connell, the Chiefs Slayer. I think this one's a W. I understand that the Chiefs are the defending Super Bowl champions and all that, schlack. But overall, I think that the Chiefs can get got. And so I'm going to put it down here on the table. They take one at Arrowhead, and things go from there. Now, take one at home, and then you're on the road against the Cincinnati Bengals, where, again, I can see this going either way. But I would honestly say that the Bengals they're a really, really, really good team. It looks like they got Joe Burrow some protection too. So I'm going to go with an L here, but it's a close one. Then you got the bye. You got a W against the bye. I'm kidding, but the Raiders go into the bye sitting, pretty good. 6-3, kind of really waiting to see how the rest of the season unfolds. And again, I think that after that, this is where the schedule got a couple of games here. Again, one against the Dolphins. I think the Raiders want a payback. I'm going to go W against the Dolphins. They're in their early game there, and then finally you've got an early game against the Broncos, week 12. Again, I think this is a W. Everybody's gone from Denver after this year. The Chiefs, week 13, I'm going to go with an L here because I think at Arrowhead, things are going to be tough, and I think you split a game here with the Chiefs. Week 14 at the Bucks. This is also, once again, a morning game there. I think that the Raiders will take it to the Bucks. I know that you have Baker Mayfield, who does some really good stuff, and he's been a lot of fun with the Bucks. He's got Mike Evans and all those weapons, but I just feel like the Raiders are getting on a roll here, 3-1 in their last 4 games, and then you go to play the Falcons on Monday night. Stomp them. Unless Michael Penix Jr. is playing, Kirk Cousins is just no. Win against the Falcons. I don't care. I think the Raiders are shocking the nation here. They are currently sitting with a record of 10-4. Things are definitely very interesting right now. Week 16 at the Jaguars. I'm going to call it, this one's going to be strange, even though I think they should win this game. I think they drop this one. I think that this is just a game where, they don't get the result that they want, obviously, but they just, they don't show up. I just have a feeling that coming off a Monday night game, it's technically a little bit of a shorter week. I'm going to call it a little bit of an unpopular opinion here and say that they drop one against the Jags. But no matter what, doesn't matter. They're coming back against the Saints. I think they get a W here. The Derek Carr revenge game, that'll be fun. This one's on Monday, and I think this overall is going to be a really fun game because, yes, you got Derek Carr, you got all the narratives, blah, 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 blah. Week 18 against the Chargers. Again, I think the Chargers are a good team, but overall, I do think that the Raiders do win this one and end the season pretty strong here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So overall, I think that the Raiders finish out with a 12-5 record. I do think that, give or take a couple of games, and I know what a lot of people are going to say. Oh, that puts them in the playoffs. Oh, that puts them in contention with the Chiefs. Yeah, I don't understand the issue because you've got a top 10 defense. Aiden O'Connell, that is, and that was one thing Derek Carr never had in his entire career with the Raiders. Aiden O'Connell is coming back, and he's going to be a lot of fun in year 2. I think he's only going to get better. Christian Wilkins is going to be a bigger get than a lot of people think. You've got a running game with Zamir White that I think is going to get established. An offensive coordinator that believes in the running game and establishing it first over throwing the football, which I like. And then also you got an improved offensive line, definitely improved offensive line. I mean, you get JPJ there to start to really round things out. Plus Nader Munford and Dalton Wagner are going to battle it out here for the right tackle spot. I love it. And then you got a great supporting cast for Aiden O'Connell and company, and you have a coach that believes in it all. You cannot underestimate the power of that. So I think the Raiders here do shock the NFL a little bit, do go on a run in a couple of different spots throughout the season, and ultimately I think this schedule does favor them a lot because, yes, you are on the road for your first couple of games, but I believe, to my recollection, I think, the last 3 out of 4 games of the season are all home games, and so that is very good for you. I think that it definitely is advantageous and give you a little bit of juice heading into the playoffs. But overall, let us know what you guys think about the schedule release. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe down below, all that wonderful stuff. But let us know what you guys think about our Las Vegas Raiders record prediction and the reaction to the release.